Hey there, book baddies. I hope you're having a great day, week, weekend, whenever you're getting around to watching this. Welcome back to the channel. If you've seen one of my videos, welcome. If you're new, my name is Hides or Heidi, and this is my channel around book-related content. And today we're going to be doing a June reading wrap-up, and I'm very excited. I got through 11 books, and I did wind up DNFing 2 books, and we're going to talk about all of those today. So I hope you're comfy because we do have quite a few books to get through. I hope that you have your beverage of choice. I have a tea. I got a black tea today. So if you have a tea, coffee, whatever your beverage of choice is, hope you're comfy, and we're going to start diving into this. And I'm not sure if you saw my TBR pick video for June. And for June, since it's Pride Month June is Pride Month in the United States, I wanted to highlight LGBTQ books. And I'm really excited to be able to now talk about them and just re-highlight the ones that I was able to actually read. So I have my notes because I always have to have my notes. Girl is ADHD, and if we don't have notes, we're going to be here all day and we're never going to get anything done. So as usual, going to go ahead and start with DNF books, going to then go into the audio books, then we'll go into the ebooks, and then into the physical books. Again, that's how I keep myself organized. So again, we'll go ahead and get started. I'll get myself a drink and then we'll start talking about some DNF books. Love some tea. So again, I wound up DNFing 2 books, and if you're fairly new to the book community, DNF means did not finish. So if for whatever reason you're not feeling a book and it's got to go, that's what a DNF book is. So the first one that I wound up DNFing is actually a very popular book, and that is Call Me By Your Name, and that is by Andre Asaman, and this is following 2 young men, and their names are Ilo, something like that. I'm sorry, I'm terrible at pronouncing things, and Oliver. And Oliver was spending a summer in Italy at this family's home. And he is an aspiring writer, and he's basically trying to improve his writing skills with this basically summer internship kind of a situation. And this is their story about how they have a summer romance while being at the house together. And honestly, I didn't like the writing style because this felt very much like a character analyst, and I don't like books that are character analysts. I find them to be honestly boring, and I just don't like that style of writing. And I thought that the love, it's described as an obsession, and it's honestly creepy. It's disturbing. I just didn't like it. I was like, ooh. So this just didn't work for me. I know that this is super popular though. This was actually turned into a movie a few years ago. I don't remember when. I haven't seen the movie, but I got about 50% of the way through and just really wasn't getting anything from the book. So I wound up she had to go. So that was my first DNF for the month of June. My second one was a book that I was listening to on audiobook, and that is Dear Wendy, and that is by Anne Zhao. And I was really interested in this book because the 2 characters that we're following are 2 asexual characters, which you don't see a lot of asexual asexual representation in books. And so I was really excited to see the asexual representation. So that's why I wanted to go ahead and listen to this. And we're following Sophie, who runs an Instagram account called Dear Wendy, and it's a relationship advice account where people write in and ask Wendy for relationship advice. And then we also follow Joe, who, as a joke, created a relationship advice Instagram account called Sincerely Wanda. And it's basically, she created it to give advice to one of her friends, and then it kind of took off. So, and she, started getting a lot of people that followed the account, and so she just kind of ran with it. And I was really disappointed because they're two college students, and the college is supposed to be more prestigious college, like not like Harvard level, but right under it, kind of a situation. And I thought that the writing style was very immature. I felt like the characters came off as more high school than college students, and especially, prestigious college students, because you're supposed to be at a, allegedly higher level, allegedly. So it just didn't work for me. I probably got about 25 to 30% through, and I just was like, yeah, this isn't for me. I don't like the writing. I think that it's really just petty and childish. So I wound up DNFing that one, which was disappointing to me because, I was very excited for asexual representation, and unfortunately the book just didn't work for me. So those were my 2 DNFs for June. So we're going to go ahead and start talking about the audiobooks that I listened to and actually finished. And the first one is A River of Golden Bones, and that is by A.K. Mulford. And this is a YA fantasy book, and we're following Kala, and then also her sister Briar. They're twins. So they're werewolves, and in this world there's 4 major werewolf packs, and they are the last remaining golden wolves from the golden wolf pack, because there was a war and the rest of the golden wolf pack was killed off. So Briar is the firstborn, and she's the princess, and Kala is the secondborn. And basically her identity was hidden from the world. So the world doesn't know that there's that they're twins. That the world thinks that there's Briar, who's the princess, and then Kala, who's just another golden wolf that survived. And this is their journey trying to save their kingdom and trying to get their kingdom back. So I really enjoyed it. You got to see Kala go through trying to figure out their gender identity, and that was really interesting and enjoyable to experience in a fantasy book. So I thought that was a nice touch to add to the fantasy book, because I felt like it gave Kala you got more of an in-depth character because of it. So I really enjoyed it. I wound up rating the book a 4-star, so I really enjoyed it. And I know that the second one, I believe this is going to turn into a trilogy, and the second one is, I believe, supposed to come out either late this year or early next year. So I do intend to read the next book in this series because I really liked it. So again, 4-star, and that was for A River of Golden Bones. The next audiobook that I wound up listening to was Foundry Side, and that is by Robert Jackson Bennett. And I really liked the concept of this book. So you're following Sanchia, who is a thief, and she is paid to steal various, items, artifacts, etc., etc. And she stole an artifact that is a very unique artifact that nobody's ever really seen before. I don't want to go too into that because I don't want to ruin anything for you or spoil anything for you. I really enjoyed the magic system in the story. I really enjoyed like the characters and like the relationships between the characters. I will say I rated this a 3, but I think that I would have rated this higher if I would have read it instead of listened to it on an audiobook. I did not like the narrator who was doing the narration for the audiobook, and I think that's why this wound up not getting a 4-star. So I think in the future I plan on picking up a physical copy of this book, rereading it, and then potentially finishing the series, because it's actually a trilogy. So I did really enjoy it. I did really like the magic system. I like the characters, and I would recommend that if you want to try Foundry Side, to pick up a physical copy or read an ebook. I don't think the audiobook narrator is very good. So that's just my personal opinion. So that's just, you know, hey, maybe listen to a sample of the audiobook prior to actually purchasing it or getting it off of Libby. So that was Foundry Side. Again, that was a 3-star. The next audiobook that I wound up listening to is Masters of Death by Olivia Blake. And this is a story following Fox Demora and Viola. So Fox Demora is the adopted child of Death, and he is not immortal, but he's lived a very long time. And this is following him and seeing some of his history, seeing some of his relationships. He's kind of a grumpy character, and I like him. And then we're also following Viola, and she is a vampire that is also a real estate agent, and she's trying to sell a ghost infested mansion, and she can't get the ghost to leave the mansion. So she winds up asking Fox Demora for help, because he is a medium and he's supposed to help her get rid of the ghost. And it's seeing the story progress. I will say that this is not going to be for everyone, because this has a lot of like points of view changes, and it's also got a non-linear timeline. So you kind of really have to pay attention to what's going on. And at some points you're like, wait, what's going on? What's happening? I really wound up enjoying this. I really like the characters. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the relationships between the characters and just kind of like the sassiness of them. I wound up rating this a 4-star. I thoroughly enjoyed it. This is a fantasy. I think it's fun. I think it's funny. And I really liked it. And I definitely recommend picking this up and just checking it out and seeing if you like it. I enjoyed it a lot. So that's Masters of Death. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the ebooks that I read this past month. And the first one was actually a graphic novel called Mooncakes, and that is by Suzanne Walker. And you're following Nova, who is a witch, and then Tam, who is a werewolf. And they are trying to solve like a mystery, I guess, that's going on. And Tam was attacked by a creature in the forest, and they're trying to figure out what's going on with this creature, where the creature came from. And it's really cute. It's a quick read. It's cute. I really like the relationships between the characters. And I wound up rating this a 3.5. If you're looking for something a little more on the cozy side, a little more on the whimsy side, highly recommend. And that's actually a book that is offered through Kindle Unlimited. So if you have Kindle Unlimited, you can read it for free. You know, it's not obviously free, but free. So, but Mooncakes was really cute. I really liked it. It's cute, cozy, quick read. So that was a 3.5 for me. The next ebook that I wound up reading was Outdrawn, and that is by Diana Gray. And in the story, you're following Noah Blue and Sage Montgomery. And Noah and Sage are both they're artists, and they both have a webtoons, like it's basically like a graphic novel that they're producing online, and they're actually rivals. So Sage is one of the top people on this website, and she has a huge fan base, and Noah is she's building her fan base. She's very talented, but she's not at the same level of Sage with fan base and all of that kind of stuff. And it's following their rivalry and then eventual relationship. And I liked some of the family dynamics that you got to see, because Noah is from the perfect family, and her parents don't understand the fact that she's an artist. And then Sage comes from the not so perfect family. Her dad's an alcoholic. One of her brothers has some issues, is what we'll say. And they're really dependent upon her to really kind of help support the family. So I like to see the dynamic that they have with their family. I enjoyed the dynamic that they had with each other. And this is obviously a sapphic romance, if you didn't pick up on that. So I enjoyed this. I was hoping for a little bit more depth with some of the family stuff in some of their relationship. I enjoyed what we got, but I would have liked just a little bit more of that. So I wound up rating Outdrawn a 3 out of 5 star, which I wouldn't say a 3 is bad by any means. It's just, nice, good quality book, but it didn't do enough for me to bump it up to the next level, essentially. But recommend. It's a cute, nice sapphic romance. So that was the last ebook that I read in June. So we're going to go ahead and move into the physical books that I read, which I wound up finishing 6. I was hoping for one more, because I had one more physical book that I had set aside that had LGBTQ characters in the book, or LGBTQ themes in the book. I just didn't get around to finishing that one. So hopefully in the future. But the first one that I wound up reading was Mistakes Were Made. And that is by Muriel Wilsner. And it's a funny book, and I liked it more than I was expecting. So you're following Casey, who's a college student, and she winds up going out to a bar. It was off campus the weekend. She's again at school, and they were having parents' weekend. And so she wound up just leaving, because she doesn't have a close relationship with her parents, and they weren't there. And she winds up hooking up with an older woman. And that older woman is, her name is Erin. And she was there to see her daughter for parents' weekend. And you find out that Erin is actually Casey's best friend's mom. So Casey hooked up with her best friend's mom, and it's going through their emotions of, hey, I just hooked up with my best friend's mom, and then Erin going, hey, I just hooked up with my best friend, my daughter's best friend. So it was really interesting. I enjoyed this a lot more than I thought I was going to enjoy it. I liked the inner monologue that you got. I liked the drama of it. The characters are funny. They're well thought out. So I actually wound up rating this a 4 star. again, I was really surprised because I didn't have high hopes for this. I don't know why I didn't have high hopes for this, but I gave it a 4 star. So I really did thoroughly enjoy this. So I think that if you're looking for a sapphic romance, this is a pretty good one. I really liked it. So 4 star for me. The next physical book that I wound up reading was actually another graphic novel, and that is Genderqueer, and that is by Maya Kobabe, something like that. I'm sorry, I botched names so bad. I'm so sorry. And this is Maya's memoir, and I'm trying to, their pronouns are ear, so I'm trying to say their pronouns correctly when I'm referring to them. So Maya wrote this and also illustrated this book, and I think that the illustrations are really well done. And this is just Maya going through the realization of being genderqueer and, you know, like figuring out what that means and like how to embrace that identity. And this was so well written. The illustrations are absolutely beautiful. I just love like the vibrant colors. I love the art style. And I really recommend, if you're looking for a memoir, if you're looking for a graphic novel, if you want to hear a little bit more about, you know, the genderqueer identity, this is really good. And I really, really enjoyed it. I rated this a 5 star. I cannot say how much I thoroughly, thoroughly enjoyed this. And this is going to be something that I will probably read maybe once a year. Maybe I'll read it like every Pride month going forward, just because I feel like it's so well done. So highly, highly recommend this one. So the next book that I wound up reading was A Dark and Starless Forest, and this is by Sarah Hollowell, and this is a fantasy horror, YA fantasy horror book, and I really enjoyed this. So we're following Derry, and she has 8 siblings, and they live in an isolated house, and her siblings just start disappearing, and she's trying to figure out where they're going, what's happening to her siblings. And it's really interesting. I really liked it. There was definitely a plot twist at the end that I was not expecting. I was like, wow. So I highly recommend this one. I don't think a lot of people know about this book. I stumbled across it by mere coincidence because it was on Book Outlet when they were having their fiction sale. And I was just kind of scrolling through, and the cover really just intrigued me because I was just like, oh, like it's like really pretty looking. I like that we have a curvy girl on the cover, and I really enjoyed this. I think that it was really well done. This is a really good like YA horror, because it's not, don't let the horror genre scare you, because I wouldn't say that it's like gory. I wouldn't say it's graphic. It's nothing like that. It just has some like horror-esque elements in it. I would say definitely leaning more towards the fantasy than the horror. But I really, really like this. I wound up rating this a 4 star. Rating this a 4 star, not reading this a 4 star. What do I even talk about sometimes? But I rated this a 4 star. And I highly recommend. I really like this. So if you're looking for a YA fantasy horror, and there's a lot of LGBTQ representation in this, like a lot, and it's very well done. So really liked this one a lot. So highly recommend. The next physical read that I read was Glitterland, and I know that this is fairly popular. I know that this has been out for a while. I think like 10 years or something like that. And I loved this book. This is a 5-star. I could not put this down. So you're following Ash, who is a mentally ill writer, and also Darian, who is a model who's very, like full of life, full of just like energy and love and just, just very flamboyant and just magical in every way. And this is their relationship. And I really just liked how the mental illness was written in this book and the representation of the mental illness in this book. I really liked the characters. I liked their relationship. So I thoroughly enjoyed this book. I rated this a 5. Did not want to put this down. I'm definitely going to read the next one in the series because I just thoroughly enjoyed this and I really like the writing style. So highly recommend this one if you haven't read it, and hopefully you will enjoy it just as much as I did. So yay. We have 2 more books that we're going to talk about. Let me get a little drinky drink here. Stay hydrated. I got my water over here too. So the next one that I'm going to talk about is The Future, and that is by Naomi Alderman. And this is following Martha and Zen, and this is... So Martha is, her father it was a cult leader. So she was raised in a cult, like a religious cult, where it was like the Doomsday Prepper cult. And then Zen, she's a survivalist. That's what she's known for. And I did not like this. So basically this is rich people doing rich people shit. Like, this is just rich people shenanigans, honestly. And I was really excited about this because I read The Power by her and loved it. Loved that book. 5-star. Cannot recommend enough. So I was really looking forward to this. And this is just rich people doing rich people shit. And it's confusing. The book is all over the place. I get like what she was trying to do with this, and it just didn't work. Like, nothing about this book worked. There's this like technology, like a survival technology. So if like the end of the world starts happening or a natural disaster starts happening, they have this like survival technology that they're like trying to create, and it's just not good. This was a 2-star for me. I thoroughly kind of almost hated this book. And the concept was there. The execution was just really poorly done for me. So I do not recommend The Future. I do recommend The Power, also by Miss Naomi. But this one, it just didn't work. I don't like it. So it's a no for me. Boo. Last, but certainly not least, is one of our newer books on the market, and that is Late Bloomer, and that is by Maisie Eddings. This book is adorable. This is another sapphic romance, and we are following Opal, who had recently won the lottery, and she quits her like dead-end job. She's trying to get away from, because when people win the lottery, all the people come out of the woodwork and they're like, oh, like we're best friends, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I need money. So she's trying to get her away from all of like the people trying to basically get money out of her because she won the lottery. So she buys this flower farm and moves to this flower farm in North Carolina. And then that's where she winds up meeting Pepper, who lives on the flower farm. They have a rocky start, and it is definitely really funny. I really like Pepper. She has a mental illness. I think it's autism, if I remember right. And I think that her character was written really, really well. And I really enjoyed their relationship. I really enjoyed like how the story progressed. It's funny, it's light, it's an easy, quick read, and I highly recommend this. I really enjoyed this, and I wound up rating this a 4.5 out of 5 stars. So I really like this a lot, obviously, and I just think that this is great, and I highly recommend it if you're looking for a cute, somewhat cozy, lighthearted sapphic romance. So that is the last book for my June wrap-up. Had some really great reads, some really reads, which that's okay. We can't have all 5 stars all the time, or 5 stars wouldn't be special. So thank you for coming along and listening to all of the books that I read or DNF'd in June. I hope that you had a phenomenal reading month. I hope that your July reading month is going well. Hope to see you in the next video. If you'd like to see more content, go ahead and just hit that subscribe button. Make sure to hit the bell, because that will give you the it'll give you a notification when a new video is uploaded. But hope to see you in the next video, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.